I'm Matt Darnell. I'm a senior project engineer here at Envista Forensics in Deerfield, Illinois. I served in the U.S. Navy, and what inspired me to join was out of high school, I didn't necessarily want to do any 4 more years of school, so I decided to join the military so I can get out in the world right away. And ironically enough, I ended up spending the next 18 months or so in a training setting in the nuclear program. So I didn't necessarily skip the classroom, but I did get out in the world. And following that, I was on the USS Enterprise aircraft carrier based out of Norfolk, Virginia. Well, I would say the nuclear program is a pretty intensive program. So I would say the training pipeline and the qualification process was probably the most challenging part. And the main reason being is that was my first foray into the military, whereas by the time I got to the ship and I was out to sea, granted, being away from home for months at a time is also challenging, but by that point I was already well immersed into the military lifestyle, so I would say the training. The thing about the nuclear program is it's a very highly regulated industry, in particular the naval nuclear program. So that being the case, most everything we did had a procedure or a guideline to follow. So I think that was what translates well into the forensic engineering realm. Is granted, in the naval nuclear program, everything you're encountering with the procedure has probably been done multiple times before, whereas most times in the forensic industry you're encountering more novel situations. But I think the approach still remains the same, where if you have a very procedural approach to things, I find that that helps. Attention to detail is one of the key tenets of the Navy that they trained us to pay attention to the details, and I think that's very applicable in the forensic engineering realm, is just being very detail oriented in how we evaluate things. And of course, any military would have a lot of teamwork involved, and there's the one aspect of teamwork which would be like everybody's pulling the same rope, which is one element of teamwork, but another element is using a particular skill set where applicable. Forensic engineering, it's never a dull moment. You never see the same thing twice, so there is a minimal likelihood of becoming bored in our jobs. And I know a lot of my counterparts in other engineering fields, after they get up to speed on things may slow down and get boring, but that's the opposite here, really. I think it's good to pay attention to what they're training you, because I mean, there's a lot of money invested in military personnel in their training. So there's a reason it's so expensive. So be sure to pay attention and get the most out of the training that's offered. And then probably the biggest aspect is staying in contact with your shipmate. In my case, my shipmates or your cohorts or your brothers in arms. Stay in touch with them, because ultimately they may become a good resource down the line.